Thanks for tuning in to the Palm Beach Podcast, a weekly show highlighting people making a positive impact in Palm Beach County. With your hosts, sports chiropractor and athletic trainer, Dr. James Spencer, photographer and art director, Mike Jones. Our show is brought to you by Pump House Coffee Roasters, Hopportunities, Indo Board, and Lotus Trips for travel and retreats to Palm Beach County. Hello and welcome to the Palm Beach Podcast. My name is Mike Jones, sitting at Media Zone on Singer Island in Palm Beach County, Florida, next to a couple cool people. Dr. James Spencer, how you doing today?
Always a pleasure coming over that beautiful Blue Heron Bridge, looking at Peanut Island.
You're very right. It's a gorgeous day. Blue sunny skies.
Always, you know that here. Unfortunately, we had that storm pass, so that wasn't, blue sunny skies, but now they are, thankfully.
Yeah. And I think we have a special guest in the studio with us today, don't we?
Always a special guest. Nina Singer, welcome to the studio.
Hi, guys.
Thank you so much for coming to Media Zone.
More than happy to be here. I'm actually super stoked. Like you said, the drive put me in the mood. I was driving in that sunny weather, looking at the water, and I was like, let's do this.
Awesome. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what you're doing in Palm Beach with, the jewelry and everything else, and let's get going from there.
Awesome. So I run two of my own personal social media accounts, which are also little side businesses of mine. A lot of the surf community in Palm Beach has kind of helped me grow with my surf account. The one thing is Florida Surf and Shine. It's my photography account where I mainly focus on the surf breaks, and when we get little hurricane swells and the winter swells, I am the crazy girl following the storm during this most recent hurricane, all the way from Deerfield up to Stewart. I spent the whole day.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah. I'm a Dawn Patrol freak, so I'm that person that I literally will get my friends who like to surf, and I'll be like, guys, we gotta get up. And I'll be getting everyone up at like 5:36, checking the cams.
But not showing the secret spots.
No.
You better not.
We don't post the secret spots. We might post artsy pictures of the secret spots, but we don't post the actual break of the secret spots. No.
That's appreciated.
Yes. We don't want to blow it up too much. But yeah, so I have a surf account, mainly focusing on surf photography. I surf a little bit myself. That's kind of what got me into this. I'm obsessed with the surf community, and being involved with all the surf type things. Unfortunately, I've had a bad fall or two with overhead waves. So it kind of brought me back in, reined me in a little bit. So now I love to just be involved as much as I can and kind of get out there. I love, like I said, the whole atmosphere. So I started surf photography probably about 4 years ago just for fun. I love to travel. I kind of just started to hone in on specifically surfing when we were going to surf breaks and kind of getting excited to get those really good waves. And now it's a huge passion of mine.
That's awesome.
Like I said, early morning riser now when the waves are here. So I mainly take those pictures in Palm Beach. Some are scattered occasionally when they're in Deerfield, or something like that, but always basically Boca to Stewart, Sebastian. Some of my very good friends, we like to go to Sebastian when there's nothing down here and kind of take them up there as well.
The Inlet's such a special spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And they always have like a little something going on there. And then I have my jewelry business, which I just started probably in February, from once again the passion of the ocean, and kind of stemming from all the really fun things I've found over the years in different countries and definitely within Florida. And I just kind of made a piece or two for myself, and everyone was like, I'm obsessed with that. Can you make me that? Can you do that? And all of a sudden I was like cranking off necklaces and earrings, and here we are. I officially started my nice little business and working to grow that really hard right now. Quarantine has gotten me in the zone for that, so that's a blessing.
Well, and you're wearing a piece,
Yes.
right? This is made by you?
Yes, I am. This is the Venice Necklace, which actually before coming on the show, I didn't know the correlation and the irony of that. But I make these Venice necklaces. These are all fossilized shark teeth that I find from Venice, Florida. It's one of my lines, and we just put it on gold-plated chains. I have all different types of lines, but this one specifically is from Venice, and you guys said you were very familiar with Venice yourself.
Both of us born and raised.
Well, sort
Kind
of raised, yes. I was born in California, but I moved to Venice in like second grade.
Yeah.
And Casperson's was like my beach.
Yes.
We were big in skimboarding, and often when you're skimboarding, you're walking back up, and there's just like shark's teeth everywhere.
Like Venice, Casperson's. I want to go to Peace River soon again. Those are all gold mines. Guys,
Yeah.
don't steal my spots. Don't be stealing my shark teeth.
Well, and a little history too. My grandparents are actually snowbirds from Chicago, and that's how we ended up in Venice.
Okay.
And my grandma used to collect tons of shells and shark's teeth, and that's really how I got into it as well. So I know we were stoked to get you in here.
Yes, that's amazing. I saw you guys' little shadow box collection. I should have brought some more of mine to show you guys, like my mini half-broken megalodon teeth and all that. Ironically, my parents are also, well, my mom is from Chicago. Once again, full circle.
Weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're finding on this show is that like a lot of the people that we have on, these young entrepreneurial people that like to give back, we're all finding these weird connections, and I don't think it's that weird anymore. It's almost just like we are attracting the type of people that you want to be around.
Yeah, I've found that majorly. It's like the longer I've been in this part of Florida, it's like your circle just seems to like get tighter and tighter, and it's the best feeling ever because you're like, these are my people, man. Like this is the vibe I wanted. And then you all just kind of attract each other. And then once again, all help build each other's businesses or little self-starting, companies and things like that. And it's super helpful for local businesses and things.
And I'd like to point out, I think a lot of it too is just young entrepreneurs that have a different drive than our parents had and actually have the opportunity just such as this to be able to come on and have a platform and a voice of reason and to share the good positive message that everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
it is. Well, I think, it's inspiring that during this downtime that we're all in, that you're finding a way to kind of channel your energy and produce and create and, do something that you obviously love.
Love it.
And if it can be profitable for you as well.
It's a double whammy.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think the term that Mike and I use is the energy is palpable.
Yeah.
Right. And we can just tell you're excited about that, and that's going to sell itself. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you. I'm super passionate and energetic about it. It's like things in my life. It's so funny. I'm, nearing on 29 now. And for so long, I felt like there was like things missing. Like I was loving life, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. And it's like the more you pour yourself into things that you start finding yourself that you love, it's like you just get every day is like a new day and you get pumped. I started in corporate America, doing very long hours, living a certain lifestyle. And then I decided like from being back in Georgia, like I told you guys, I've been kind of a mutt of Florida and Georgia for a long time. And I was like, I miss Florida. Like I miss the vibes. I miss the type of things that people do there. So I ended up back here. And now with working down here, at least I started to get that lifestyle I wanted. And then when I started to hone in on the actual hobbies of the surfing and the making of the jewelry and the finding of things, like even just finding a shark tooth nowadays, like brings me so much joy. It sounds so minuscule. But then getting to create something with it and kind of share that. Like I've realized so many people, I stayed so long just collecting the stuff, making it, and now having an Etsy account and an Instagram. So many people like love that same look and you get to tell a little story behind each thing, once again kind of brings that excitement.
Well, sorry, important side question.
Yes.
Gators or bulldogs?
Oh, actually, there's a plot
Because
twist.
we might have to end this podcast a little early depending on what you say.
There's actually a plot twist, and I'm a Knoll.
Oh.
I'm a Seminole.
I was going to say Florida Georgia weekend.
Hey, that's cool. We both went to UNF in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And so we gotta play like innocent bystander. Did you do some schooling in Gainesville though, right?
Yeah. But
Okay, so
still.
So you guys got to lay back and like laugh.
And watch.
Yeah.
well, like the motto or like the meme of the of UNF is that our football team is still undefeated because it doesn't exist. And so I just always love that.
But we had a great surf team and a skate park on campus.
That's what I heard. I heard you guys had like a surf team. I was like, dang, maybe I went to the wrong college. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my Knowles, but I've heard good things actually about
and fun surf in Jacksonville, and lots of shark's teeth too, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually have yet to be up to Jacksonville yet to search for any up there, so I gotta add that to the list.
So, Volano Beach,
best spot.
I've never
is
been
the
there,
spot.
and that's in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's like old historic St. Augustine.
Okay.
You just go over this like little bridge, and you're in this like coquina shell, orange sand, whole new world.
Oh
and
my goodness.
tons of teeth there.
Yes.
Yep.
And if you go 15 minutes north to Jacksonville, it's back to like normal.
Yep.
Like
I'm gonna need you to like pinpoint or write me this
again, secret spots.
Oh wait,
you
yeah,
gotta be careful
We're
sharing
blowing it
these.
up.
That's so cool. So did you like tell us about like growing up with your parents? Where was the family beachgoers? Where did it start for you?
So my background's kind of all over the place, but I am from Fort Myers, Florida. I only grew up there a very short amount of time, but my mom swears, she's like, from day one, you're a water baby. Like, we just knew it. I lived in Florida for a while, and my dad is actually a biologist. And my brother is now a stream ecologist. My uncle also in the water biology segment. Funny thing is, we went back to Georgia. I was missing Florida. Was really just being like, why do I miss Florida so much? I went to school, came back, was living in the North Georgia mountains, loved it, was hiking, very outdoors. We always camped in high school. My parents were always super outdoors related. And then I went back to Florida State, and I thought I was going to be like the black sheep. I was like, I'm going to be in marketing and PR, and I love the outdoors, but I'm like more like corporate, social media, marketing, PR, like based. So then I got myself into the sports industry. I actually worked in the NFL and the NHL. I worked for the Atlanta Falcons and the Florida Panthers, which was my saving grace to get me back to Florida.
Sure.
And loved it. Loved the experience. It was my dream to be in normal sports at the time. And I just kept, like I said this earlier before we were on camera, that I just was like missing something, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. So I knew once I thought about it, I knew immediately it's the beach. Like, I need to go back to South Florida. I need to get back on the beach. Need to get back in that ocean mindset. So I then got a job with the Florida Panthers, was so excited, came back down here. And I started finding myself like falling into my family tradition of loving like marine biology, swimming in the ocean. I've recently been diving a lot more. Just like working on my breath hold and doing all this fun stuff.
Gotcha.
And it just started like consuming me once I started to, I always have been about it and just never been in the right place being in Georgia. Like, my parents laughed. I hand painted with my dad my own mural when I was 10 years old of a surfboard on my wall and was like, this is going to be my life. And
That's awesome.
And so it was just somehow in the back of my head, just playing over and over that like little piece. And
you're like manifesting your own destiny at 10 years old.
Who knew?
Cool.
Who knew? And now
Yeah.
I'm trying to manifest it even more. So that brought me to kind of where I am now. I currently have a decent amount of time off from work due to the pandemic and everything happening, and it's given me a lot of time to think and create. And I started my jewelry business probably a couple months before like the whole quarantine thing, and started surf photography just for fun about 4 years ago when I moved down here and started to travel. I actually kind of got into surf photography from my ex-boyfriend. We were going to Bali, we were going to Nicaragua, Puerto Rico. Huge waves, love to surf, but by no means was in the mindset able to surf big waves yet.
Well, in Bali is like consequence waves because there's sharp reef everywhere.
Yeah.
Where like in Florida, if you fall, maybe you hit some sand.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. It was, I'll never forget. There was 2 different times, one time in Puerto Rico and one time in Costa Rica, where I was like,
Rincon?
yes. I knew. The second you were like, wait, I bet I know where.
Yeah.
That's actually where my puppy is from. I rescued him from there. That's a whole nother story.
Is his name Rico?
No, his name is Crush, like the turtle from Finding Nemo.
Even cooler.
Yeah, totally, dude.
Yeah.
So I kind of got into it in that sense where I was like, this is amazing. Like, I loved watching it. I went to watch a surf competition in Billabong. I mean, in Billabong, for Billabong.
So you go to Australia as well?
Yeah. For Billabong in Portugal. And that's where I fell in love. I still have 2 huge pictures like blown up in my room from there. And that's where I like honed in on, like, I was just on the sand and I was like, wow, like I still get to watch this and get to be a part of this. And also like, cause I'm a little bit of a baby back where I'm like, I'm not throwing up reef and sand. But yeah, in Puerto Rico and in Costa Rica, I hit the sand pretty hard, skinned up my neck, and was like throwing up sand for like a day.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's like you get humbled in the ocean sometimes.
Yes.
You know, it's like right when you think you're just killing it. Oof.
Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I always say like one of my favorite waves I ever caught was an accident wave. I was in Nicaragua and my friend was pushing me into the wave, like pushing me because I was yet to like get my paddle down and everything. And I remember I knew what it felt like to fall and how bad it hurt and how bad going over the falls felt. So I was like, this wave is way too big for me. I'm terrified. And I realized if I don't try to get up right now, I'm going over the falls and that's going to be 20 times worse. So I just popped up and all of a sudden that was like my first and only overhead wave probably. I stood up and I was like, I'm catching this. Like complete accident.
There is that weird little moment where if you're not sure you're going to make it and then you do, it's like a total adrenaline rush. Like it gives me the chills to even think of those moments as well.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone to grow. Mm-hmm. And in surfing, you find yourself doing that pretty often if the waves are big.
100%. You're forced into it sometimes.
And I think too, it's also a little bit to grow with the business. Right. Just as you've done, take that time to learn. And like, I know all 3 of us just starting our businesses, you got to get over a little bit of that fear or that anxiety and just push through because that's growth. Right.
And your personality, your style, right? Like there's a million people that sell jewelry, but not ones that have your style and your experiences and your touch.
Yep.
And that's where you will probably shine is because just from sitting next to you for 20 minutes, I can already tell bright, bubbly personality, energetic, cares about what you're doing, that's just going to sell itself on its own.
Yeah. And I'm really working hard on that. I'm trying to hone in on being a new business and 2 things. What's going to make me, you know, stand out. So that's why I like the stories. I do custom pieces. So if some people give me their own shark teeth that they found that are really important to them and I custom make exactly what they want. Other ones, I, you know, find a shark tooth in Puerto Rico and I say where the shark tooth came from and I have a little story. And that's kind of what holds special to me is making sure that these jewelry pieces are meaningful and not just mass made. That's like my main thing is I'm trying so hard that no matter how much I have to eventually make that, at least I'm going to be buying. Right now, I find all my stuff, all my own shells, beach glass, shark teeth, all that stuff. Eventually, if it grows even larger, I'm going to have to eventually outsource, but I still want to always find somebody who's locally, you know, has the jars in Venice Beach and whatnot. And second is I'm really trying to actually find how to give back to the community. That's been extremely in the front line of my head during this whole time of me building this business. So actually, this is a shout out to whoever has a nonprofit that is ocean related and might want to pair up with me. I do eventually want to kind of get something that I'm very passionate about, pair up with them, do events together, do pop-ups together, and eventually, of course, have some of the profits go to that specifically. So,
well, and I can tell you that For Ocean, they have those beads made in Indonesia.
Oh wow!
And so they create jobs and help local communities that would otherwise not have the capacity, the resources to be making the money that they could, where if they get a huge box of beads, these families can all make the For Ocean bracelets Four Oceans giving back. They have boats sweeping trash, and now they're providing jobs in third world countries. So it could be like something for you to
That's amazing.
to think about
I
as well.
I know a good bit about them. I just did not know they were Indonesia, giving jobs in Indonesia. They actually recently reached out to me on my normal account to be one of their brand ambassadors.
Cool.
So that might actually be a good little collab.
And they're Boca based.
Really?
Yeah, they went to
local.
FAU.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I didn't know this. I know that they're in local surf shops and stuff like that, and I've heard about them, and I actually was just looking at their site the other day because they reached out about the brand ambassador program. But that's super good to know. If you guys know them personally, you know.
Not yet, but we've bought dozens and dozens of their
Always
bracelets.
I'm sure I can probably just like reach out.
Well, and every bracelet is supposed to be 1 pound of trash that they've taken out and recycled.
That's amazing.
So
that's exactly ocean conservation all day, every day.
But they've scaled that up to a level that's profitable and that is giving back. It's sustainable all the way around.
That's amazing.
So,
and that's, I mean, I do the same with my business. X amount of proceeds at the end of the year, I donate to a nonprofit.
Okay, that's exactly what I want.
It's just cool to share that same story with other people who are just doing the right things. And again, that's exactly who we want to promote on the podcast.
100%. I love that.
So now that we've kind of talked a little bit about the background and what you've been up to, it's time to talk about some places that you like to go. Okay. Restaurants, bars.
We got to add surf breaks.
Activities, surf breaks, yeah.
We talked about this.
No secret spots.
Blowing up the spots. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, please shout out some spots.
Absolutely. I'm very typical with my loving of Square Grouper and Guanabanas. Obviously, I feel like that's like the spot. Unfortunately, not very low key or unknown. Love going there. Love the atmosphere. I actually just went to a new taco place that I fell in love with. It's probably not new. It's new for me. And now, actually, yes, I have a picture of it.
Surf Taco?
No, it's we just went.
Is it up in Jupiter?
Yes, it's
Papi
in
Chulos?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that place. So we were storm chasing all day. We had a freaking blast. We literally were following the storm up, and I was like, in the middle of the day, we were in Jupiter area, and I was like, I am starving. Like, I need food. And they're like, we got a place for you. Best fish tacos. I'm a pescatarian. Really good fish taco, blackened fish taco. Let's see.
And they're on the short list for the podcast.
Actually,
I think we've dropped a DM or two.
Next couple weeks, I think they should be coming on.
Get them on and get us some tacos. No.
Oh my gosh. We would gladly accept a taco sponsor any day.
Yeah, they just opened a new store out in Royal Palm.
Oh, really? Yep. See, I feel like my main source of food is like taco Mexican related. It's like what I live off of.
Can't beat it.
Yeah.
I was born in California, so you're preaching to the choir here.
Like my roommates are like cleaning out the refrigerator today, and there's so many like rice and beans and fish and stuff, and they're like, Nina, like how much of this can you eat? I'm like, it's my life. Don't judge me.
I know I'm a gringo, but that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm like, don't mind me. And I love fresh fish. Oh my God. Like what I would do. My friends actually just traded me recently. I took surf photos of them, and their deal was literally, hey, if you take surf photos of us, we'll give you lobster tails for a mini season. I was like,
deal.
Say no more. Like I don't need any more of it.
Because you would have taken the photos anyways.
Let's be real. Yeah. I was gonna be out there like freaking out in my rain jacket anyways.
That's awesome.
And then surf breaks. There's Palm Beach, you guys are popping. Like I live obviously in North Broward, but I feel like I frequent here more than my own county because you guys have the best food, low key bars, surf. You guys got it all. I'm moving up here soon. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Well, and again, with your last name, you might be related to Mr. Singer.
Yeah, where's my little plot of land? Like I just need my little tiki hut right over there, and I'll be good.
Looking hard for that trust fund.
Yes.
Hey, what's that site?
23andMe or something.
Yeah, like
Ancestry.com.
Like let me find my hookup. But surf break, I actually love. Blowing Rocks is pretty like underrated. Cool. It's got some really cool, especially when storms come in. Sometimes the drift is really, really like hard, but 9 times out of 10 it's not. I like it because I can watch the surf. And when it's small, I can get in and surf. And you can also look for shark teeth there. I shouldn't have said that. But
and at high tide, when the water like crashes and shoots through the holes, like
it's amazing. Cool. Like I want to do a photo shoot there for my jewelry really bad. I think it would take some really awesome pictures with that water coming up. But it's just like such a good multifaceted place. Like not only is there surf, there's a beautiful view, and there's always little gems of, you know, shark teeth, shells, all that. So
the Blowing Rock locals they're out
pissed.
For you. You're done. Yeah.
I may know one or two where we can sneak in, you know?
Okay. Well, tell them we know you if I ever go surfing out there.
You know, Nina, she sent us this way.
She said it was cool.
That's awesome.
Not to throw you under the bus, but is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, God. There's a lot of people I want to shout out to.
I'm going to give Nomad a shout out today just because, you know, we found your content through them and rocking the shirt today. So
yes, I love Nomad. They are super supportive on social media of all of my things. They've reposted my jewelry. They always repost my surf photos because I take a lot of photos in that Boynton Beach area all the way up to, you know, Jupiter. That's probably where I hang out the most when it comes to the surf time. And I've just loved, like, they have helped me. They've helped me just by reposting my photos, gotten me followers on my Surf and Shine, Florida Surf and Shine account. And they're just always helpful, especially on social media. So definitely shout out to them.
Ryan and Taylor, amazing people.
Yes, they connected us. They're always helpful. I always like do this thing where I'm like, hey, tag them if you know them on my pictures, because so many times I'm taking pictures of people and just getting these raw pictures of them, and I get super stoked, and then I'm like, I don't even know who you are. You don't even get to enjoy this. And it's really cool because some people sometimes like reach out and be like, this is a picture of me. Can I have the unedited version? I'll give you $30. I'm like, this is the start of my professionalism.
Just a quick side story. I lived in Australia for a few years, and there was some surf photographers that would go out in the water and they would have waterproof business cards. And so if someone went by and like he took a photo, he'd pull a business card, you throw it in your board shorts, and then you could go to his website and buy the picture later.
That's amazing.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I need to research this 100%. And I'm actually working on a website. It was all just fun and games at first. It was all me traveling for the past 4 years. I have a huge passion. It used to be a goal of mine until this pandemic happened and whatnot, but I was making it to 2 or 3 different countries a year. That was like my goal.
Sure.
And we were doing really well, and I was doing it well. And you know, it was just a hobby, and then all of a sudden, like, I started honing in on my skills. And when people start messaging you, I have a group of guys from California that come here frequently, and they'll text me and they'll be like, hey, we're going surfing today, $150 to come take pictures of us. I'm like, I'm there. So it's just kind of grown. It started off as a hobby, and, you know, once I started, you know, getting decent at it, I still could get better. I'm trying to work on saving for even a better camera coming up here soon. But it just kind of, that whole aspect kind of took off on its own locally. I've gotten to do things like provide photos for IWS for their Christmas party, and they put it on a presentation and stuff. So it's kind of grown within the local community, which is really exciting.
It's organic, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Those people want to promote you and you want to promote them. They can tell that you love what you're doing, and it just shows in your work. And I mean, I need to get like a Venice piece from you after this, you know?
All of us, yeah.
Venice pieces all around.
and it's symbiotic.
Maybe mom's got a Christmas gift coming up or something.
Too
you know?
late.
Yeah.
It's all just symbiotic. Everybody's kind of just vibing off each other and sharing the same ideas.
Yeah.
And just like we started Palm Beach Podcast, we want to help promote the locals who are doing good things and give them back. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's kind of just how things grow. Like how I started getting closer to the IWS community, Nomad community, things like that. Like one of my friends, this is a shout out to Nikki. She owns her own bathing suit line. She just came out with a new collection. It's called Happy Days Swimwear. And we've just started collabing, like promoting each other. We started this little women's owned business Instagram group message. I think there's a vintage clothing line in our little group, her swimwear, my jewelry. And we've all just been sharing when we release new collections. We've been sharing ideas and kind of, you know, bouncing off each other. We do photo shoots together. we're going to do like a Happy Days swimwear, Nina Colada Treasures collab, where we can kind of bounce off each other, do giveaways, do photo shoots. And it's like, that's when you start finding yourself, when you like, you already know what you love, but then when you start having people around you have that same vibe, you get like so excited, you know?
And now more than ever, it's probably the best time to support local.
Yes.
You know, like instead of going to Miller's Ale House, let's go to Papi Chulo's or something. You know, let's support a mom and pop.
Yep.
Instead of buying jewelry online, let's find an Etsy.
Yep.
Let's support local people. So this is I think it's a great time for everyone to give back a little bit to your own community in any way that you can.
Yes, I can't touch on that enough. Ironically, while I was out surfing, doing surf photos this past Sunday, I was out with a group of about 7-8 locals that all live in Boynton, Jupiter area, and we had a major conversation at Papi Chulo's at lunch, and he's
2
like,
margaritas deep.
and then went back out and probably threw up in the surf break. No. But we were talking about it, and he was like, I can't stress on how much I hope people realize the importance of small businesses. And that just resonates with me. And he's like, you know, I hate to, you know, smash talk anybody, but, you know, all these Walmarts and all these things got bailouts and all this stuff. And right now we're talking about, we hope that people understand the importance of local businesses, and that local businesses kind of actually, ironically, it's going to have to go through, sadly, a low here and there, but come out on top in the end is my hope and dream for all of this, you know, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully, that people understand the importance and kind of start supporting those businesses more, for sure.
I think on that note, that's a good one to cheers to there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Nina, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you guys. This was
Cheers.
so
It was a
fun.
pleasure. And thank you, John from Hopportunities, for some seltzers.
Yeah.
You're the man, John.
Woo, woo.
Salud.
Thanks, guys. Woo.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Palm Beach Podcast, brought to you by Pump House Coffee Roasters, Indo Board, and Lotus Trips for travel and retreats to Palm Beach County.